I'm frustrated. Not because I want to be, but because I've tried filming this portion of this video numerous times, but I feel like I keep flopping it and messing it up every single time. Which exactly correlates into the topic of this video. Me being afraid of failure. Or at least the thought of failure for that matter, but I'll explain that whole analogy later. But the truth is, I'm afraid of execution. I'm afraid of trying to do these things because I feel like no matter how hard I try, it's never going to be good enough. I'm afraid of other people's opinions, which is self-contradicting because I literally made a video about 2 to 3 months ago trying not to care about other people's opinions. You know? The thoughts of other people's opinions judging me, bothers me. And I'm very sensitive to that, and that's kind of a problem that I have that I'm still working on. I want to get this right, I don't want to work so hard on a video and then mess it up and then have it flop. But if I don't mess it up, I'm not going to learn anything, and if I don't learn anything, it's just like, you see what I mean? It's so frustrating, but to try and really find a way to combat that or tackle that thought of failure and that fear of failure head on, I chose to buy a unicycle. And I'm going to give you some context on that. I took a circus arts class in my 3rd semester of college, and to be honest, that was one of the greatest gym classes I've ever taken, and I would happily take it again. It was just that fun. One of the most difficult things for me to learn in that class was riding the unicycle. After practicing, I think maybe 2 times a week with limited time because the class was also kind of short, I was able to learn it, and I was actually able to get the hang of it. And to some extent, I was not able to balance on it without having to hold on to something, but I was actually able to ride a decent distance. But there are still some things that, when it comes to riding a unicycle, that I really needed to work on. The whole purpose of this video is for me to basically learn to, get out of the fear of perfection and just trying, the fear of imperfection, to basically try to put myself out there and literally just go for it, to not worry about other people's opinions, to not worry about, messing up, and just realizing that, hey, just do this. Whatever happens, happens. You're not gonna die. It's not the end of the world, and you're gonna be okay, trying to give myself some exposure therapy when it comes to, my thoughts and, my inner demons and shit, So, in a way, I did that, and I'll show you guys the footage right now. Got the unicycle. It was a little bit cloudy earlier, but now it's actually nice and sunny out, blue skies and everything. One of the good parts about spring. First, I'm going to try just practicing balancing and getting onto it, and then second, I'm going to try to just practice just moving around, and got this beautiful open park full of space, so I'm going to give it a go and just see what happens. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest, this was harder than I thought. My teacher taught me to do this whole quarter crank thing, where it's basically kind of like putting both pedals at some quarter angle in a way, so it can kind of help me set up for getting onto the unicycle, because as I'm leaning back like that, the unicycle's gonna rise up, or I guess the seat's supposed to rise up, but for some reason it was just difficult to do, and my left foot wasn't really catching the left pedal, which was kind of frustrating, but this was kind of one of the problems I really had when I was going for it, so I was trying to remember what he taught me and just trying to figure out how to truly get that part right. What was more annoying than that was trying to constantly just adjust this seat. For some reason, when I'm going on the unicycle, I'm trying to get on it, my hips tend to move a little bit. I guess it moves the seat at an angle, and it kind of throws me off. So I have to fix that numerous times, and you'll see that more throughout this video. These next 2 clips, I was trying to get my left foot on the pedal a little bit easier, but my balance was still not really working that well, so sooner or later I got impatient and basically just chose to try balancing on my car instead and then just push off. Thanks. So far, I've learned two things. Number one, trying to balance stationary and then going, that shit's hard as fuck. And it's honestly kind of annoying as hell. Number two, like pushing off of something while I'm holding my balance and then riding, that's so much easier. And apparently I still got it because I was able to ride from my car all the way to my camera, which is like right in front of a tree. I guess I'm not as rusty as I thought I was, so that's pretty good. Might give it a couple more tries, maybe call it a day, and maybe come back another day to do some more practice. It was at this point that I knew what I had to do, and trying to really just balance without holding on to anything was the main goal in mind. It already became obvious to me that I could do it while holding on to something, but for me to truly get a better understanding of how this unicycle thing works, I gotta try doing it without having to rely on holding on to something, and despite it being difficult, I kept at it, and through one of these shots I was able to figure something out. Instead of trying to catch the left pedal using my heel, I decided to try using the sole of my foot, if not the toes of my foot instead. I think by me trying to catch it with my heels, it kept on throwing me off, but once I finally tried doing the other thing I just mentioned, the magic finally happened, and it just clicked. That's a make right there, boys. Baby, that counts. Was it a little bit frustrating when I was trying super duper hard to get on the unicycle and it just wasn't clicking? Yes it was. But somewhere deep down, you know, the passion that I have for this thing that I do, and the fact that I can get so close to doing it that I can almost, you know, sense victory in a sense, like that is the thing that truly keeps me going. Like, it's the thought there that's like, hey, you know, like this could work out. This could be great. What if this actually works? What if I could actually make something beautiful out of this, you know? And when I try to put that thought into my head more, I begin to realize that the love that I have for all the things that I do oftentimes tends to shine brighter or be more visible than the fear that I have, you know? Like, I truly love to make videos. I love to edit, you know? And sometimes I do feel like it's never good enough, but when I'm able to, you know, make the stuff that I do, I look back on it and be like, hey, you know, like, that was a good video. I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe I actually did that, you know? Like, that's the thing that truly keeps me going. That, and also you guys in my audience, you know? I'm my own worst critic, you know? But you guys give me the proper feedback and constructive criticism, like, that also keeps me going too, you know? Like, there's a lot of love in the world, you know? And that's the hardest part with me, you know? Sometimes I have the tendency to be negative. I tend to have the tendency to be negative because I feel the need to protect myself. I feel like, you know, like, it's like if I choose to jump the gun and assume that things are going to go wrong, then I won't get my hopes up, and then I won't feel hurt and like disappointed later on, you know? And like, in a way, that's not a bad thing, but in a way, it's not a good thing either, you know? Because like, imagine how much happier I could be if I chose to look at the other side of life. You know, obviously, you know, I can't be positive all the time, but for me to constantly try to, like, you know, have this negative bubble around myself to protect myself from all of the things that I think are bullshit in this world, when sometimes it's not even like that. Like, it's the exact opposite. That's not really doing me any good, you know, and I'm beginning to realize that now, you know. I'm trying so hard to protect myself from something that may not even be there. You know, and like, I'm really trying to like be just like, you know, more self-conscious and more like aware of that, you know. And I guess maybe being positive in a way can work, you know. I feel like the hardest part with me is trying to tell myself that something good is going to happen, because I feel like I shouldn't have to convince myself. Like, if I have to convince myself that much, isn't that me just being even more insecure? I mean, I think about it like that sometimes, you know, but when I choose to block out all of the positivity with negativity, it just truly makes me more unhappy, you know, and I feel like that's something that I can learn from it. It's something that I can try not to do anymore, and hopefully, if you guys have been doing this as well, you know, don't make the same mistake that I did, you know. I have a long way to go. I've been talking for so freaking long. It's honestly insane, but I'm putting it out because I can literally spend time doing this for hours and my battery dies and this and that. This is unfiltered, but what you see is what you get. So, well. But I'm glad I did that, you know, and I'm going to try to keep doing more things that I do not like to do that, you know, are reasonable, you know, not alcohol or drugs or crap like that, but things to help me grow as a person and to help me change and prosper and be the person that I really want to be and look in the mirror and be like, hey, you know, that's him. That's the guy that I am. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud of me, you know, so guess I just gotta keep working on that. I'm done. Peace.